next episode in the mobile app redesign for developers series with our special guest Brandon Minnick.
Hey,
And
Luis.
hey, how are you, Brandon?
Good, good. Busy day.
Yeah, yeah. So how's everything going? Did we do any any cheat any cheat code in the project in the weekend, or uh
Huh?
what do we have for today?
Ooh. Well, I'll share my screen. I've got a bunch of updates. Just we'll share with all the viewers today. Let's see. Let me know when you can see it.
Okay. I have your screen up here. Yep,
All
there it
right.
goes.
So the biggest thing today was that Microsoft released .NET 6 Preview 1. So
Oh
it
yeah.
is out in the wild. You can download it. You can try it out. I personally have not yet. I'm waiting until Visual Studio supports it because, yeah, I could um, write some code in Visual Studio Code and then compile it in the command line. But I kind of like the end to end experience with Visual Studio. But it's cool to see it's finally out there. I know a lot of folks, especially in the Xamarin world, have been waiting for this.
Yep.
They're That being said, .NET Maui's not really a thing yet. It's parts of it are in preview one, but probably not till preview 3 or preview 4 will .NET Maui be something you can actually start using for your apps. Like, don't get me wrong, Maui's in here. It's just not completed yet. So there's only a couple controls, like, I'm making this up, like a switch and a button are done, but a label isn't. And I just made those up, but there's some of the controls are done, some controls are not done yet. So yeah, hang back until .NET 6 preview 3, preview 4. At least that's my plan to till I start playing around with it, especially with production apps like GitTrends. But that was really exciting, and I also wanted to share a couple blog posts I did recently, um, and mostly because both of these directly impact Git trends. Um, there was recently an upgrade to Refit. It's a library we use in Git trends to call all of the web APIs. So Refit basically makes it super easy to make a GET request, POST request, whatever API request you're making. And I love it because it takes out a lot of that boilerplate code where you don't have to create a new HTTP client. You don't have to call get async and then parses string, blah, blah, blah. It kind of does all that stuff for you, which is amazing. And and they just released version 6. But the problem is in version 6, they switched from newtonsoft.json to system.text.json as their default serialization engine. And well, I think that's a good thing. Uh, Everybody should be moving towards using system.text.json because it's just better. You get better performance. It's faster. Every iteration of .NET, the team makes improvements. And I think System Text JSON was released in .NET Core 3, and then it got faster in .NET Core 3.1. It got faster in .NET 5, and now that .NET 6 is out today, it's probably even faster there. We'll have to stay tuned for those benchmarks, but it's also a breaking change to move from newtonsoft.json to system.text.json, and specifically in Xamarin apps, Xamarin doesn't yet support um, system.text.json fully. Like you can add this as a you can add it as a NuGet package for your say .NET Standard 2 libraries, but that NuGet package doesn't have all the features that exist in say .NET 5, and .NET 5 added a bunch of features like being able to use being able to deserialize records, being able to deserialize immutable classes, and everything in GitTrends is either a record or an immutable class. And so, long story short, we can't use system.text.json yet. We will be able to use it in .NET 6, or at least hopefully, that's my plan. So I put together this blog post because I went through this pain of upgrading refit to version 6 and GitTrends and trying to figure out how to add back-end support for newtonsoft.json. So basically, long story short, you just have to add this Nuget package, just refit.newtonsoft.json. And then when you initialize your REST services, you just pass that in as your refit settings. So it's not too bad, but oh man, it took me a couple hours. I think it was this weekend recently to figure all this out. So I figure share or save everybody else the pain and share this one line of code basically. And I also made some extension. Well, they're helper methods. I want to call them extension methods. They're not technically by the definition of extension methods, but yeah, you can add in just these helper methods to your app, and then you're basically good to go. Because the refit settings, you can see how verbose it is. You say new refit settings, new Newtonsoft JSON content serializer, new JSON serializer settings, contact. It's just a lot of text to have to type out every time. So do it once, put it in this static helper method, and then you're good to go. You can just kind of initialize refit like you're used to, a la these extension methods. So want to share that with the world, and also because GitTrends uses Azure Functions. Azure Functions has recently released support for .NET 5. This is all in preview still, but say long story short, Azure Functions runs on .NET. And so when our code runs on Azure Functions, it would run on that version of .NET. And so until the Azure Functions team updated their runtime to use .NET 5, we can't update our code to use .NET 5 because it needs that foundation. And the engineering team on the Functions team has been doing a ton of work to break this dependency. So no longer will our code be tightly coupled to the runtime of the Functions engine. And so what this means is they're calling it moving our code out of process. So almost think of it like containerizing our code. Our code can run using whatever runtime it wants, whatever language it wants to. This will also open up possibilities to write functions in any language you want, from like Dart to Python to whatever. But it's not a super straightforward upgrade. Like there's a couple things you got to do aside from just updating .NET. You got to change out your NuGet packages. You got to, since this is preview, you got to add some workarounds, but it is doable. So I wanted to share that with the world because I did it in GitTrends as well. And so all these examples that you see in the blog post are all the examples that take you to the GitTrends repo. So, well, it's not necessarily the topic we'll be covering today. I did want to share this with everybody because maybe
really
you
nice.
use refit and you're going to have to update your app, or maybe you use Azure Functions, you want to update your app. Hopefully these will help you out, and you'll let my pain and suffering and the hours I spent figuring this out lead you to just a couple minutes of work, because it'll just magically work when hopefully when you follow these steps.
Yeah, that's actually really nice because it's, as you say, it's stuff that we're using in our app, and just like other developers out there, they have different sections of their app that when you want to update to the latest and greatest, you're definitely gonna have to rework on, right? So I personally love these two new blog posts you just released because it's, as you say, it's paving the way for when eventually, let's say another project I have, production project, I need to eventually migrate and want to try out all of these goodies. I already have a way to get started, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely great new blog post.
Thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, what else have we had this week? I mean, this tweet today was like Great. It made my day when I saw it. I was like, because I know you gave some spoilers, like, oh, probably it's coming. It's coming one of these days, probably in a few months. But we were not expecting like this soon. It's important to note that .NET MAUI is still not there, but it's already a work in progress, right? We're starting to
Oh yeah.
see great changes coming in.
Yep.
So yeah,
And the blog post even touches on that. So kind of reaffirms the commitment to .NET MAUI and what the plan is and everything that'll be coming, but also kind of let you know like this is just preview one, so it's literally still a work in progress. Don't be too discouraged yet, but yeah, like I'm not taking GitTrends and trying to run it on .NET 6 yet. Probably not for a couple months.
yeah. So how did it go with getting going back to Git trends and what we had from last week? I remember we left off on basically we have our about us complete.
Mhm.
We would say the layout and the spacing and everything, and now we're just trying to contact all of the community members that get those translations. Have you got any response so far about any specific language, or how are we
Uh,
doing with that?
no, I haven't got any responses, but it's also because I haven't reached out to anybody. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's one more. We'll call it a bug. Want to get fixed alongside, or want to get it fixed in version 2.1, and that's this one right here. So when I pushed out version 2, we added in this total button, which is great. It shows you your total views and stars or whatever appears on the page. But we forgot to translate the word total. And so part of the bug is, oops, we have an untranslated piece of text in the app in the wild. But also, once we translate it, we'll need to be able to dynamically size its width to match the length of the text. And this is something that I've learned after we started translating GitTrends, is that different languages have different, well, obviously they use different words or different characters for the same word. And sometimes they use a lot more characters and sometimes use a lot less characters. And so, for example, I've noticed Ukrainian and Russian tend to be just longer. So what I want to be able to happen in the app is if the user goes into the settings page and updates the language to, let's say, Russian, that this will be then translated to Russian, but also the size of the button will grow. And so that is currently a work in progress. Bryce, one of our awesome community members, has jumped on it. So he's digging into that. And this is kind of, I'm not going to call it a blocker because I don't really feel like we have an immediate need to get version 2.1 out the door. It's not like we got to push it out Friday or we're going to lose money. Version 2.1 basically just adds the about page, which is a great feature, and I can't wait to get it out there to kind of showcase all the libraries we're using, give a big thank you to all the contributors. But at the same time, it's not necessarily a pressing feature. So we are kind of hanging out. We're kind of in our flight pattern, getting ready to land at the airport as Bryce works on this. So we've been kind of going back and forth about what's the best way to do it and whatnot. So we'll see how Bryce does over the next couple days, week or so. But we want to get this fixed and closed alongside all the translations, and at least that's my excuse for not reaching out to any of our linguistic experts yet to ask for the translation. So we're kind of hanging out a little bit. You know, we've been grinding pretty hard on GitTrends for a while, so it's always good to kind of take a step back and just breathe.
Definitely. I agree. And I think today we can then take our day to like sort of go, as you say, take a step back and go through our store profiles, check those screenshots and videos we have there, organize the new screenshots we're gonna upload for the to have everything updated to the latest version, how it's looking. Also, we could start working on the Spanish translations as well, since I'm the one that does the Spanish translations. So
That's right.
yeah, we could start working with those regex files and maybe showcase how we have our regex organized in GitTrends. How you like set it up in the CH process so they are like included under the same one and we don't have like that big mess of regex. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's still gonna be a good stream, but I would say it's the part where I would say it's always dealt with at the end of the project, and sometimes developers don't even get to experience this part, which is like messing around with the store, seeing the settings, and how do you update the screenshots, what are the dimensions we need, how to generate them. So yeah, definitely a really interesting stream today.
Sure. Yeah. So, what do you want to do first?
Uh, I would say first let's organize what we're gonna work on. So okay, let's get what are the strings that need to be translated, and also let's get the dimensions of those images, and what are the pages that need to be updated, like what screenshots we need to generate, like basically do our little to-do list, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I can save you a little bit of time because what I did in the app, and this was, I mean, ended up being incredibly helpful, and I'm so glad I did it. But also, just selfishly for me, because we have so many translations and because there's so many regex files, I found it was really tough to um, just kind of keep up with it, manage it. You know, like what translations are missing, what translations or what regex files are missing. So what I've done is I created a couple unit tests that will run through all of our regex files. So for example, all our regex files live here, and go do this. There we go. So what I've done, I have this unit test or example called confirm cultures exist. And what it does, it looks at, I have this culture constants that we use in the app. And this is when you go to the settings page, this is what you see. You'll see the, for example, the Bosnian flag, and then the word for Bosnian in Bosnian, and likewise with German and Deutsch and Spanish and Espanol. And so this is what we use in the app to let the user select their language. And so in the test, I leverage that to grab all of the keys. So all the language, what's that? The culture codes, I think those are called. And basically, I just iterate through these files to ensure that we have the translation done. So, for example, if we were missing a regex file for Spanish, then this test would fail. So, if for some reason, theme constants, if we didn't have theme constants.es dot, regex, if that file didn't exist, then we would have a failure here. So this is kind of one of my reminders that like, hey man, you forgot to create the file. And then we have another test that just confirms all the translations are complete. So what we were talking about a minute ago is the about page constants. These are the default, I guess you call them default translations, default text. So like, you'll see like it's all in English. And so if I open up the English regex, I also have this one done because I can speak English. But if we open up the one for Spanish or Espanol, then you'll see nothing's here. And what's nice about this test, if we were to run that, let's see if I can just run this specific test, and let's switch to debug, save a little compile time. Let's see if this works. So when this test runs, it should tell me that the about page constants translations are not complete. And what this looks for is, well, there's a couple ways a regex file can be incomplete. It can either have extra entries. So maybe, and actually this recently happened, we moved a constant from one resx file to another. Like in about page constants, we used to have the word or the title for the page, which was just about. But I recently moved that to the page titles resx because it's a page title. So you might have leftover translations that shouldn't exist. Did that already run? Let's see. Test results. It didn't run. Dang. That's okay. So yeah, it's looking for maybe there's extra translations that should be moved elsewhere, and then missing data or missing values. So missing data means that like this whole chunk is missing. So there's no word for watching. Missing value means that this is blank. It hasn't been filled in yet. So when you mentioned a minute ago, the first thing we should do is figure out what translations we need to run. I can save you a step, and if I pull up my test layout here, there we go. And I can just come down here. I can run my resx tests. Wait for that to build and run. And then we'll see the failures rolling in. So far we're passing. Everything's green. Eventually a couple of these should fail. There we go.
Nice. We got one
and
there.
Let's see if I can. No, that changes the text there. Let me bump up the font size. Should be this one. No? No? Maybe I can't. I can just zoom in manually. But what we get here. Now, come on, make it bigger. There we go. So, about page constants failed. And then when I look up the failure, I've got this. Whoa, there we go. Got this output here that says. So for BS is the language code for Bosnian. It says that it found missing data. So about page constants, library title, about page constants, watching, forks, stars. All of these are missing from Bosnian, from German, from Spanish. And so what's nice about this is when folks like yourself jump in and give me or provide the translations, then all I have to do is I can just run this unit test real quick and it'll tell me like, yep, everything's good to go. Or, sometimes we just miss one or two and I can be like, hey, Luis, it looks like you missed the translation for forks. And we can pop that in real quick. So
Perfect.
There's our tasks for resx.
We have one of our tasks done then. We have the needed resx. It's kind of quiet because I was building. I just updated, which you should not do, guys, before a live stream. I just updated my Visual Studio for Mac and like the Xcode tools and everything. For some reason, my Android device is not popping up. So yeah, that's something interesting that I was trying to figure out now. But yeah, let's pass me that list if you can. And we can start working on those translations. So let's put first the list, right? We're gonna write that down. Then we're also gonna get what do we need to do from the resource side? Like what are the resources we need to generate as well? So once we have everything down, we can start working on them, right?
Let's see. That didn't really copy paste very well.
Yeah, let me see. It's only the U that's missing from thank you.
Well, if you want, I know you said your stuff's still updating, but you could run the unit test on your end, and
yeah.
that'll give you the same results. Well, hopefully.
Let's see. Let me move this over here. And source 3. And you said everything is done in the main branch now?
Yep. I merged in. We were working on the release version 2.1 branch for the last few months and finally merged that into main. And
Nice.
we'll say, pro tip, one of the reasons I did that was last time when we were working on version 2, we did it the same way. So we had a version 2.0 branch. That's where we were adding everything in. And when I reached out to the folks in the community to help with the translations, a couple folks added their translations to the main branch instead of adding it to the version 2 branch. And that's fine. Shame on me because I forgot to tell them. I don't know. Just totally forgot about it. But then that just led to a couple back and forth. It's like, I'm so sorry. Like, you actually have to do it over here and blah, blah, blah. So I figured before I reach out for translation help this time, bring everything into main because everybody kind of defaults to the main branch anyways.
Let me see. Okay, share. And share screen. Screen 1. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, as you said, we needed to update the main branch. Look how many commits I see in the main. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have a long time without updating it here, this main branch. I also noticed that for some reason I have some changes in my GitTrends XD project. So let me just open it quickly and see if there's something there, because my initial thought is just reset whatever changes I did, because I think we didn't mock up anymore after we started implementing the aboutus page. So I just want to double check here in case we are gonna lose something. Let's see.
I'm looking. I'll pull it up on. I'll see what it looks like on the main branch.
Yeah. I think everything's still the same. Maybe I moved some text around when we were discussing, but I don't see anything different. Let me know how you see this bottom part. Because if anything changed, it has to be here.
No. Looks exactly the same to me.
All right. Then reset. It's okay. Last week we resetted the whole changes we did in the code and everything was fine. So if we lose some mock-up, we can redo it. Not a big deal.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a silly mistake.
Hey, that was fun. That was proof that it was live. Let's see. Let me pull from here.
You'll say it's always like, I mean, hopefully that never happens. But when it does, it's always easier to write the code the second time because the first time you spend there's so much thought that goes into it. So you're kind of like architecting out everything you're going to do, thinking about like, is this the right way to do it? Or should I put it here? Should I put it there? And so the nice thing was we had already figured that out.
Yeah.
And so everything was still pretty fresh in memory, and it took maybe 2 minutes to redo what we probably spent an hour working on.
Yep. So quick question, did the about page branch did you delete that one or no?
Yes.
Oh, that's why. Because it's telling me I can't find any remote branch about page. What's happening? So okay, let me just change to the main.
Yeah, I merged. So we were working on the version 2.1 branch, but then branched off of that to work on the about page. So merged about page into version 2.1 and then merged version 2.1 into main.
Perfect.
So you should see all sorts of crazy Ah, there it goes.
Yeah, look at all the branches. Nice. Use .NET 5 and .NET Core 3.1. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot of changes. And we are
Yeah,
here.
it's nice to have it all in main now because yeah, we were juggling a lot of branches for a while there because there's also things like we pushed out a couple bug fixes. Like I think GitTrends is on version 2.0.3. So
Yep.
while we were working on version 2.1 and working on the about page, had to fix some bugs that popped up in production. So then having to
Yeah.
bring those and yeah, it just gets
Yeah, we were at
a little
one point we
complicated.
were dealing with like 8 branches. And this was January 28th. So yeah, you see how everything started to reduce, and eventually now we're back in
It's how
May.
you it's how you know you're coming to a good spot.
Yeah. Okay, so I have the
Cool.
latest code. Reload this project. Let's see if everything. Uh, overwrite. What could go wrong, right? Overwrite everything. I can just close Visual Studio.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It's gonna have you do that for everything.
Yeah, let me just quit out of here. Cancel.
Force quit.
Let me be free. Yeah, I want to force quit, but let me. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Before, when I clicked it, it only gave me the quit option, but when it
Ah,
started freezing,
if
it.
you hold the option button and right click on the app, then it'll always give you the force quit option.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
if the app's running, I should say.
Nice little trick.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I force quit Visual Studio a lot.
Not for any particular reason.
No, usually nowadays it's just I clicked build when
And then
just
you
kind of
click
out of
cancel.
habit, and then I realized like, oh, it's in release mode, and like that's going to take a lot longer to build, especially for Android with AOT, and like,
Yep.
and if the little stop button in Visual Studio actually did something,
Did its work.
I wouldn't have to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, you click stop, and you're like stop the build, and it's like okay, you're like no, like stop it now, and you're like yeah, I heard you,
Good
and
suggestion.
then yeah, like a minute later, it's like okay, I stopped it. You're like, I'm
You're
not
like,
waiting a
I'm
minute.
already working on another project. You could just. I'll come back to you later tomorrow.
Yeah, the other option is you can go into the task manager and you can just force quit .NET and you can force quit Mono. Those are like the processes that are running,
Mm,
and
nice.
that'll kill the builds too. So again, not sure why Visual Studio just doesn't do that for me, but I assume there's a good reason. Somebody knows more than I do, and it's like you should never force quit Visual Studio while it's building, but whatever. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it could always be if something gets corrupted. It could always be resolved with a clean and rebuild, or clearing the bin and
Yeah, right.
uploader. So that is the worst that can
Yeah.
happen. We like playing with fire. That's basically what we're saying. Let's see. It's building. Let's see. Let's see. Now that I'm building it, I can check if the debugging of my device is gonna work. Let me see.
Hmm.
Huh.
Oh yeah, we haven't
So,
talked about the bug you found on the show yet.
oh yeah. So this is definitely a weird bug that's happening so far. We've only seen it in my device, the Pixel 5. I downloaded the latest version for GitTrends from the App Store, and I noticed that for some reason all the icons have disappeared, all the SVGs from the app. So let me see if I can get this. Let's advisor here. Let me see if I can get mirroring for my device so we can see what that looks like.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And actually, I mean, I wouldn't mind digging into that today, especially since so to fill everybody in at home, yeah, like all the SVGs are missing on on Luis's Pixel 5, and he sent me a screenshot and he's like, "Hey, I think there's a bug in the Android app." It's like, I literally just downloaded this from the store, and look, there's no SVGs. And I go meet him like, "Oh, that's not good." So I grab my Pixel 3 and do the same thing. I download it from the store. I think we're both running the latest version of Android R,
Yep.
and it looked totally fine on my device. And then, I tried it. I don't have a ton of Android devices, but tried it out on a couple simulators, a couple devices, and couldn't reproduce it. And so it's, yeah, I have no idea. I'm, well, I'll say I'm stumped, but at the same time, because I can't reproduce it, I also can't debug it, which is almost impossible.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of frustrating.
it's, yeah, and it's something I saw happen on iOS, and well, it didn't. Excuse me, I figured it out before pushing it to the iOS App Store, but on iOS it was just a problem in the CS proj file where the SVGs were getting referenced twice or something like that, and it just confused the build. So it ended up being a fairly easy fix, but that in that case, like, the SVGs didn't show up on any iOS device, so it was easy to reproduce, easy to fix. And in this case, yeah, having just one device, I don't know. And nobody else has said anything yet. That doesn't mean it's not
Yeah.
happening. But we have the GitTrends Twitter handle. GitTrends is open source. Like, anybody could open up an issue and file the bug. So we'll say, as far as we know, it's only on your device. But that doesn't mean other people aren't experiencing it. They totally could be. Especially if you download the app, you don't know what to expect. So you might just think it looks normal.
Yep.
Although I would argue it looks really weird with no icons anywhere. But yeah, this one's a weird one.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, have you used Visor recently on your Mac?
Probably not in a couple weeks.
Yeah. What software are you using to mirror your device in? Well, you have
Visor.
an iPhone, but Visor, right? So for
Yep.
some reason, the Visor, like I would say the last couple of months, each time I try to run it from the Finder, it forces me to install it again. And if I try to run it from like the app folder, it's like corrupted. It doesn't open. So I changed it to a different app,
That's weird.
and it's called Power Mirror, and it's kind of works always. So that's what I'm gonna use for now. But
Nice.
yeah, it's totally weird that, you see, I try to open Visor and it just doesn't work.
Show that one more time with the search bar.
Yeah.
It looks like you're still using the Chrome app.
Let me see.
Because Visor,
Oh, look.
and
There
that
it
says
opened.
version 2.3.2. So, yeah, when Visor first came out, it was a Chrome app, meaning it literally ran in Chrome.
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple years ago, they broke that dependency, and it's
Let me
now
see.
its own standalone app. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. All I could say on my computer, yeah, I use a standalone app, and the version I'm on is version 4, so 4.0.17.
Okay, let's see which one I have
But
here. Oh yeah, look, I have 2.3.1. What? Okay, let me get that sorted out. I downloaded
and
the version 4. Let
and
me
I've
get.
also and I've also got a paid license, and I don't know if that changes anything. But those
I
are
think that the only thing that changes is like the quality they say it has and stuff, but I don't know. I found a
right.
workaround, at least in Windows, that even with the free one, you can like get the same quality.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I've never actually bought it, because if you go to the settings and you like update frames and everything, it takes it. Even if it tells you like, hey, you need a premium, it applied the changes. So I'm like, oh, nice. Okay, let's see.
So yeah,
Visor.
double click on that applications folder. And let's go straight to it.
Okay, trying
Is
to
that?
get
Oh,
it
I see.
here. Yeah. It's
But
opening in the other screen.
yeah, the thing for me
Oh,
was Visor. Visor shows ads too.
Visor.
Um, and so when I was using it to like demo stuff at conferences, I didn't want to risk an ad popping up.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh,
I mean,
great.
for a number of reasons. I mean, it. Oh, that's weird. Oh,
Yeah, this is
Azure still says
the
version 3 though, but it also explicitly says Visor free version 3.
yeah.
Mine says Visor Pro.
Visor
Oh
has
wait,
been updated. Oh wait, no, reload now.
maybe that's your version 4. Because yeah, mine explicitly says Visor Pro version 4.
Oh,
There you go.
there it is.
And it supports iOS now, by the way. Version 4 came out with support for iOS.
Nice. So one problem solved. Now, see the other problem. Let me see. I change. Okay. I'm trying to change to file transfer. Cancel. Okay, give me a second. Might be this. That's messing up when I'm trying to change it. Okay, let me uninstall Adobe XD from my phone because it keeps like popping up the error for like the dialog for Adobe
Oh.
XD.
Or maybe just close the app on your Mac, the XD app.
Oh, as well. Let's see.
Because that might kill the process too.
Yeah, each time I try to like switch it to file transfer, it. Oh, okay. Oh, don't tell me it was XD doing that. Let's see. Nope. Okay, let's see if Visor can see it. Nope. Yeah, debugging mode is enabled. That's weird.
Does Visual Studio see it?
No, that's the weird thing as well. See, Visual Studio.
Then let's see. Did you enable the developer settings and USB
Yep.
debugging?
Yep. Let me double check again that. About. So yeah, I've been working with my work computer for this past 1 or 2 months, I would say. So I've not connected like the new Pixel to debug on the PC. So let's see. Okay, about developer.
See, the only thing I can think of is you can. I forget where to do it in the Android settings. You can like reset trusted devices.
No. It's okay. So when I went to the debugging options, the USB debugging was disabled this time. So yeah,
there you go.
easy peasy.
There it is.
There you go. Let's see. Installing Visor APK. Let's see if Visual Studio sees it now. There it is.
Cool.
Nice. API 30. We're running the latest. Okay, so we got one error in the build. Build to retry information about data transport time from remote Nuget Telerik. Oh, we're using what? Are we using Telerik in GitTrends? Not that I know of,
Not
right?
that I know of. You could probably just try doing a clean and a rebuild. It might have
Yeah,
something cached from the previous branch.
yeah, let's see. Let's see. Oh, there you go. All right, so let's open GitTrends. And,
You can already
oh,
see it.
yeah, here it is. Let me see if the workaround works here as well. So you see this image
Right.
quality and this settings here. So in Windows, I don't know if here's gonna work. I go ahead and just update this. It says like upgrade to Visor Pro for higher quality settings, but it still like lets you update it. You see? And then you save it, and oh wait, let me try and go all the way to the. Yeah, you see?
Yeah, I saw it flash in the back.
You see, it still like updates it. So I'm not paid, but I still get the great quality. You see?
Yeah, no, I'll take it.
So yeah, here if you see like all the SVGs for the stats over here are gone. If we go over here as well, it disappeared.
Yeah.
So the stars here as well.
And I assume the settings page is missing all those SVGs.
Yeah, let's see. So this works because this is all loaded from. Okay, let's go to the settings. Yeah, settings SVGs are gone.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, so what we can try is you can try pushing the source code or building the source code in release and pushing that to your device.
Oh yeah.
So GitTrends, we use debug, release, and app store. Release and app store are the same build configurations. The only difference is there's a couple things that we only want to enable for the app store. One of the things being our analytics. So our App Center analytics, that App Center API key is only used for the App Store. That way I know if a crash happened from a user who downloaded it from the store versus just me still debugging it locally. And then one or two other things like backdoor methods for UI tests. Those are still enabled in release, whereas I don't want those to be enabled for the App Store build. That way we can do UI testing on, we'll say, the release build. So it's AOT'd, it's got all those goodies. But yeah, so if we can push the release build to your phone, then that's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and uninstall this one, by the way. Ah, wait, you can't see my screen anymore. So there, I'm uninstalling GitTrends, so we are free from.
Ooh.
Nice. Let's see.
Hey, well, speaking of ResX.
Yep. So here.
Try. Let's see. So right click on the gittrends.mobile.common project and try just rebuilding that first.
Okay.
Because it's complaining that it can't find the auto-generated files.
Yeah, let's see.
And I've seen this happen to me sometimes where, nope, still nothing. Let's open up that project then. Let's see if something is missing from the Git repo. So open up the constants folder. I even see you got a dot on the constants folder, which usually means that you've made a change.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, for example, if you open up empty data view, blah, 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 or expand it, it should have the designer.cs file.
Oh, the designer.
And that's there.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been generated.
Yeah.
So, okay, one way to generate it is if you just open the main resx, so empty data view constants internal dot resx, delete just like one character.
Oh,
so like,
make a modification. And
yeah, like make a change, save it, and then put the change back, save it. And that should get Visual Studio to recreate that designer file.
There it
And so if
is.
you go to designer.cs, then it should be auto-populated now.
Yep.
Cool.
Easy peasy.
That's annoying.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think there was a couple of those resx files.
Yeah. We can go through them by the rebuild. It's gonna tell us easier.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Rebuild.
I'll have to play around with this later to make sure that the repo in GitHub is clonable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to work out of the box,
Yeah.
and that's not a great experience, especially if somebody wants to contribute. I always hate it when I personally clone a repo from GitHub
Ooh.
so that I can like help out a feature or fix a bug, and like the build fails, and you're just like, oh my god. So first I have to
Yeah.
get the build working, and then I can help. And that's annoying. So
Exactly. Well, at
I
least
guess
now we got way less errors. Now we only have 6. Now it's complaining about namespace gear sharp in views does not exist. So you may see an assembly reference. Let me see if I can do a restore.
that's a new NuGet package. Yeah, I would right click restore all NuGet
Yeah,
packages.
let's see. Probably one of those packages still has to be downloaded.
Yeah, like because I saw it was talking about the NuGet package and the
Hmm.
Sakia NuGet package, and both of those are newly added.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
again, like, come on, Visual Studio, just
Do your job.
like,
And I don't know, like when you first open the project and you just cloned it, it's supposed to do like a step of restoring all the packages for the solution and everything. I don't know why sometimes it just some of them it skips.
yeah, I've seen it happen if you have the project open in Visual Studio and then you change branches. But
Mm. Yeah,
when
that's
you
what I
force
did.
quit
So
Visual Studio,
probably,
ah,
yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's what
right.
I did. So that I caused it. Okay, I'm sorry, community. I need to be less lazy. Oh, but at least I'm happy that we got the visor thing updated and working. Certainly a big difference in the UI now. Like they have this
Hmm.
nice little cards here. They did a little bit of material design on it.
Yeah, and it's even got like you can connect via Wi-Fi now.
Yeah,
So I
before
think
it
that's
was
what that Wi-Fi
only
button is.
like cable collection, and it was only Android, as you said as well. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting that they brought it to iOS. And, yeah, I'm not complaining, but on the Mac you can
Yeah.
mirror your iPhone with QuickTime, but
Yeah, and the
that
quality
broke for a
is
while.
it's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Wait,
the quality in
really?
QuickTime's great. Yeah, it broke for a couple months. Forget when. Like I forget if it was on Big Sur or Catalina. Maybe it was Catalina. But yeah, you couldn't mirror your iPhone anymore using QuickTime.
Hmm,
But I mean,
I
they've
didn't
fixed it,
notice.
or at least last time I tried it, it worked. So it's still restoring.
Yeah. Do I have internet?
Yeah, I'm talking
Oh,
to you.
nice. They have a nice little icon for visor now as well. That used to not be there. Yeah, it's still restoring. Can we see like the progress of this here? Let's see what's happening. Oh my god, why is my text so small? Let's use the little hack. Uh, wait,
It definitely looks like it's doing stuff. Just
yep.
nice and slow. Yeah, take your time.
Again with the Telerik stuff, like Nuget, Telerik.com, and it's trying to look for
Oh, are you using a
Android
different
X.
NuGet feed? Like in your Visual Studio
Ah,
settings, you might
ooh,
be
could
pointed
be.
to Telerik's NuGet,
Let me
which would
see.
also explain why it's taking a lot longer because it'll have to check all your different NuGet feeds.
Yeah, that's true. Nuget. Let's see. Sources.
Sources.
Oh yeah, I have MyGet, I have Telerik and Nuget activated. Let me deactivate this for a second. Only leave Nuget there. Yeah, because it's searching it in everywhere. Stop this.
Uh,
Tied to
it's
Foursquare.
not actually going to stop it.
Tied to
So,
Foursquare.
yep.
Thank God we have that Foursquare option there, like so easy. You know that in Windows we have to like do Alt Control Delete and kill the process.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have it a click away. Because when you try to do like the okay, force quit the this app in Windows, it actually doesn't force quit. It just freezes up even more. So that's why you have to go like to the um, what's it called? Admin, the control panel, the uh,
The task manager.
yeah, task manager. You have to go to the task manager and kill the process directly.
Yeah, it's very, very annoying.
Let's see. Okay, it's restoring the packages. Let's see the progress here. Make sure it's not going to Tedric again. Getting restore information.
Just saying, hopefully it saved the changes. Yeah, it looks like it's zooming now.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Going through
API.Nuget.
Nuget. Yep. Nice. That's a good little thing to have in mind as well. Because I had it activated long ago. I had a project. I was getting something from the Telegram feed. But yeah, that definitely affects the restore time. Good thing to
Yeah.
keep in mind.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder how all that logic works because you'd think you could give it like the default Nuget package source and
Yeah,
then like have a fallback and maybe a fallback for that.
exactly. If I didn't
But
find it in the default, I'll go
yeah,
try the other ones. But
but in your case, it was definitely
yeah. Ooh,
checking Telerix
first.
every time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're restored. Okay, we're almost there.
Woo.
Let's clean this and rebuild and launch it to our Pixel. Hopefully everything works out
Hopefully.
and we just need to generate a new build for the store. Worst case, we find the bug here while we debug it. So
Or best case.
yeah.
Because then we could.
Oh yeah. Worst case is we don't find it.
Yeah, I know. Like if we push the release build to your phone right now and it just works. Ugh. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what to try after that. I guess we could push the App Store build to your phone. I don't know if it'll let you do that. It might. I'm not sure how Android works with the sign-in keys and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I need the key store to be able to do that.
Right.
So
Maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll push the release build. Those SVG files will still be missing, and then we can figure out something from there.
Yep. Let's see, it's almost done cleaning. Let me close
The
this. All
clean
this
takes so
files.
long too.
Yeah. And then the
The clean,
rebuild.
yeah, clean's another one that I understand. Like just delete the folders bin and obj. Like
Exactly. What are
just
you
blow them
thinking so
away.
much about? Rebuild.
Yeah, I mean part of the problem is with package references for NuGet, it stores the NuGet packages that it downloads, or at least metadata about them, in the obj
Yeah.
folder now. So if you go and delete your bin and obj folders, the next thing you have to do is restore your NuGet packages.
Okay, now we're getting a ton of constants. Oh, designer. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm looking at the source code on GitHub, and
Yeah.
like that designer file that was empty for you is populated in GitHub. Pull up your whatever
Yeah.
your Git
Let's
Like,
see.
do you have pending changes?
What?
Yeah, see,
Look at the changes, how it got deleted in the designer. Let me
right. Yeah,
reset
blow away all
this.
those changes.
Yeah. Yeah, look, all the designers got erased basically. They got emptied out. All right. Now let's rebuild. I don't want to, because what if this? I don't want to. I don't want to think it's the clean that is doing that because it works for you when you do clean and rebuild. But that's definitely weird. Why the designers are getting like cleared out?
um, I've seen stuff like, again, like if you have Visual Studio running and you switch branches, it just confuses everything. Like, especially if like a
Yeah.
file is open, then everything everything gets confused. So
Yeah.
I've seen it like hold on to files referenced from the previous branch and bring them into new. But
Yeah.
yeah, my rule of thumb is if I can, I'll close Visual Studio anytime I am switching branches or pulling updates from GitHub. And if I can't, then I'll do it with Visual Studio open and then just double check in Git that
Yeah. There's no change.
yeah,
Weird
like it's
changes
back
there.
to the original.
History. See what was the last thing added here. Oh, the changes for the
As part of the blog post today.
stages. Yep.
Did
When
that
did
this
you
morning.
do this? Oh, this morning. Nice. Remove public interface.
Oh, that was an interesting one. Um, yeah, I noticed some of those methods had the public modifier on it and some didn't. And my first thought was like, I didn't even know this was possible. But turns out in C Sharp 8, or as of C Sharp 8, you're able to add a public, protected, private, whatever modifier to your interfaces. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is that I learned in classes, if you leave off the modifier, it defaults to private. So
Yeah.
like private void method is the same as void method.
Yeah.
Well, in interfaces, if you leave off the modifier, it defaults to public. So technically, all these ones with public in front of them, it did.
Listen.
Excuse me. So technically, public didn't change anything, but I just kind of cleaned it up because some said public, some didn't, and I learned all that. So I learned something new. Learned
Ah,
that
that's nice.
it didn't break anything, and that nothing was wrong. But I think with code, the most important thing is consistency.
Yeah. Okay. Still building. Yeah, that's definitely definitely interesting, and it makes sense why it's defaulting to public because remember before everything in your interface had to be public. So yeah,
Yeah,
really
it was the
nice little thing there.
default behavior.
Fix corrupted regex designer files.
Yep. So basically, everything you went through happened to me when I merged branches in.
Oh, yeah. And here are the changes for the about page that we did last week. And yeah, pretty nice, pretty nice. Come on, finish building. It's literally like 90%. That last 90%, it's always like takes its sweet time.
Yeah, I don't trust that. I mean, you can watch the build because what it has to do is it has to figure out like what projects reference which projects, and then it has to build. I guess you would call it the lowest level one first.
Yeah.
So like in this case, like GitTrends.android references GitTrends, which references GitTrends.mobile, which references GitTrends.shared. So it's got to kind of work its way backwards and build all those up. And so you can kind of see where your build's at by watching the logs instead. And I mean, you also did a build all, so that's going to build the iOS project, the Android project, the UI test project, the unit test project, and the Azure Functions
Yeah,
project. So
I
that'll take a couple
I know.
cycles. and
Yeah,
we're streaming. I notice anytime I'm streaming, a lot of your
it takes a little bit
CPU.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, because real time video, real time audio, like we're doing right now, that is top priority for the CPU.
Hmm.
So everything else kind of gets second place when compared to your audio and video.
Yeah, thank God I have Adobe Z closed because if I had this open and like any other design software, yeah, my my laptop can't take it. My Mac can't take it. I remember early days when we were streaming. Remember the few couple like first 2 to 3 streams. My Mac literally did not let us stream, and it was because I had so many stuff open that it was killing the the device. Okay, I got an error with the iOS one. It's okay. So let's try and deploy this to.
It's probably a provisioning profile.
Yeah, try and deploy this, and let's see. It's building. And if everything goes right, we should have. Let me put this here. Mhm. I've always liked like looking at these logs while it's like building. Is I used to do like Android development and stuff, and when it's building the Android one, you can like recognize a lot of stuff from like Android Studio when it was doing its build as well. Really nice. You can see how like everything is literally native Android. You see the same steps going on. It's just like everything was wrapped into Xamarin wrapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna take a little longer too compared to debug because for the release builds we do AOT.
Yep.
So we ahead of time compile almost everything in the Android project. So that's how we can get some faster launch times on Android. I know
Yep.
when I first started making xamarin.forms apps 5 years ago, my Android app, there was one point it was taking 9 seconds to launch, and that's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
No user is going to sit there and watch your splash screen, just a static splash screen for 9 seconds. They're going to force quit the app and move on because they assume that your app's frozen.
Yep.
But with AOT, dropped it down to below 3 seconds and didn't have to change anything else. It just had to turn on Android AOT. I always love those free, easy performance improvement wins. Those are great.
Yeah. And there's a couple more settings you can do, like even to help you with the build time for debugging your app, right? When you're developing. And Jonathan, it's his name, Jonathan Peppers, right? He has a
Peppers, yep.
Yeah, he has a great blog post about it. For those of you that are listening, that you can just go and read it. Let me see if I can find it here. Performance
Yeah,
improvements.
that's everybody should be aware of that. I think the new templates follow all those practices. But
Yeah.
if you've been working on a Xamarin Forms project for a couple of years now, or even a Xamarin Android project without forms, then you have to manually go in. But yeah, things like enabling D8, enabling. There's fast deployment now, but
Yep.
yeah, it's gotten so much better that the Android app will launch way faster than the iOS app, which had never been the case before when doing debugging. Like I would always
Yeah.
do everything on iOS because it was a lot quicker.
Yeah,
But
same here.
now Android wins.
Hey, I'm an Android lover, and I used to literally build my apps first in iOS, and then I will like what we're doing in GitTrends on the Friday sessions. I will do everything in the iOS emulator. It's even the emulators, as you have a Mac, is like way better than the Android emulators we have or we had. So I would
Mm-hmm.
do everything in the iOS side, and then just start like, okay, let me polish the UI in the Android one. Because it was
Oh
way
yeah.
faster, but now, yeah,
Well,
completely
even the
different.
Android emulators back in the day,
Yeah,
Xamarin literally created. We created our own Android emulator because Google's were so slow. Um,
yeah. And
they,
sometimes they wouldn't even open. Like you were just waiting for them to load up, so the
yeah,
so the IDE could like actually start deploying the thing, and it would just take forever.
yeah,
I
it'd
remember
take
we
10
used to
seconds just to
use
open.
yeah, I remember we used to use Genymotion as well, because
Oh yeah, Jetty Motion.
nobody nobody wanted to use the default emulator that was there.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were painful. I mean, what it was they were literally emulating the chipset.
Okay.
So nowadays, like when I create a new Android emulator, because I'm running Mac OS on a 64-bit CPU, I just create an Android emulator that's an x86-64 chipset. Whereas back in the day, you had to use an Android emulator from Google that was the ARM
Oh
emulator.
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I understand the argument because your app's actually running on an ARM chipset, instruction set, but there's no value to it because it'll take minutes for the emulator just to launch.
Yep.
And then once your app was finally running, it would take seconds to respond. So like you would click a button and you're like, did I click it? And then you would
Yeah.
see it happen. And like animations were really chunky. So it's like,
Yeah.
sure, I'm using the native instruction set, and if there's a bug in that, it'll find it, but it's unusable.
Yep.
Like, like what's the point? And finally, yeah, Google retooled everything. But I don't
Yeah.
understand why it took them almost a decade to come out with a usable emulator. That was a weird choice.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, if you, like, okay, you waited all this painful time, and just to see that there's a bug, that you need to go fix it. And if for some reason you close that emulator, you did not notice, you had
Oh
to go again
no.
through the same process. And it was like so tedious. It was so tedious.
Oh, I remember that. And then like yeah, teaching new developers how to create Android apps. Like that's when you really felt the pain because
Yeah.
they didn't know that it took minutes, and like they would assume something was broken and they would stop it or like force quit it. And you're like, no, we were just
you
waiting
do
5 minutes.
you do everything except that, please.
Uh,
Yeah. This is our coffee time, okay? uh,
that I mean, really, what it meant, and maybe this was Google's ulterior motive, was we all just bought Android devices. You just connect your Android device to your computer and you
yeah.
just debug on that because
Yeah.
the emulators were just unusable.
Yeah, that might be the reason, I think. Because I would not debug in emulators when I was like only doing Android development like native, and then when I change it to Xamarin, I would just use my physical device just to not have to wait all that time. And also, there's some stuff that some libraries and some use cases that you can't generate unless you're using a physical device. So for me, it was always better to just run it on my device. Because if you're using like if I'm example the back in the day the Google Maps API and all of that, and you wanted to use the sensors and see it like real time, you had to use your device. Because sometimes the emulator would not even work, and you think there's something wrong with the app, and it was just because there was something messed up in the emulator.
Yep. There we
Oh,
go.
yep.
Now we're moving.
This
Oh
is a good
gosh.
sign. As
Yeah, I
soon
was
as
looking
it
at
start moving
those.
fast.
Yeah, I was just reading those build logs, and it was saying that it was taking 7,000 milliseconds to do one task. I was like, oh man, I wonder how many of those tasks it has, because that's a really long time.
Yeah. ARM 64. Go.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting real. Like
Creating
it's signing it right
release.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
super close.
Almost there. Key store. Yep. It's almost there. Let's bring Visor here. Oh, something I really like about the Android, like the Pixel.
Mhm.
The Pixel has this live wallpapers here, and it's a
Oh yeah,
really nice touch. You see the little like water in the beach moving around, and if you move the device around, like like you see the perception changes in the background as well.
yeah, parallax.
Yeah, pretty nice. They also have one like it's like the Earth, and it literally shows you like where you are in the time of day. So if it's day, the Earth is like flat on the day and everything. So
Cool.
pretty nice things to keep you entertained.
We're waiting for your app to build.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yay!
Nice. Finally.
Oh shoot!
Oh.
You don't have the server keys and stuff.
Yeah.
All that
Oh,
for nothing. Um,
it's been getting 4 years to get here. uh, well, at least let's see the demo mode, no? It won't even go through. Oh yeah, initialization.
no.
Oh yeah.
You well, might as well build it in debug and deploy that. Um,
Yeah.
that won't really give us a as good of a data point, but yeah. So the way the app works, there's that whole app initialization service class that runs every time you launch the app, and that does stuff like pulls down the latest contributors for the project, pulls down the information about the Nuget packages, pulls down what else is it pulling down? URLs. So like there's some media in the app. So like the onboarding videos, it pulls down the URLs for those. So all the stuff that you'll see in the app, but so yeah, the way I designed the app is if it can't get those on first launch, that it just doesn't leave the splash screen. Because
Okay.
well, the big deal breaker for me was Sync Fusion. Because if you run Sync Fusion without a license, then you get a pop up that says something about
Yeah,
like,
the advertising.
yeah, it's like this is an unlicensed version, blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't want a user to see that because they're not going to know what that means. They're going to
They're
assume
gonna
that
be
something's
like,
broken. Like,
yeah.
yeah, they're going to report it to me. So that was the main reason why I don't let the app get past the splash screen if it can't get that info. But yeah, all of those are behind, or all that information lives in servers and Azure Functions, and I put them behind API keys because like that Sync Fusion license key is tied to me. And if I put that in the open source repository, then anybody could use it, and who knows what could happen. I mean, I honestly don't know what would happen, but yeah, you don't want to share secrets like that, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love everybody that tunes into the stream, but we'll be sharing those on live today.
Yeah.
We'll see what the debug build gives us, because what we can do is we can jump into the build settings for debug and then just toggle those to follow the release build. So
Yeah.
it'll follow when the app launches, it'll follow the debug logic flow where if it doesn't have the sync fusion key, it'll still go past the splash screen.
Yep.
But it can still be AOT'd and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Or vice versa, we go into the splash screen page or the app. Yeah, I think we go in the splash screen page and then just change the logic. So the app always leaves the splash screen. Ah, that was a bummer.
Yeah. I was just checking the chat here to see if we had any messages. So far, no. But I see we have 2-3 viewers there. Probably they're just looking at the stream, looking at our build failed. Yeah. So okay, so after we build the app, we're gonna see if we can reproduce that bug, right? But we also wanted, what did we want? We also wanted the strings that we want to translate, right? So while this is building, I can probably get those strings. I'm not gonna run the test, but I know which file it is.
If you pop open the terminal, you can use the command line to run the unit tests. So you could go to navigate to the unit test folder, and then just say .NET test, and then you'll see a bunch of unit tests fail because again you don't have the server keys. But one of those will be the regex tests that fails, and
okay. Oh, is this deploying?
it sure is.
Nice. All right. So let's see how. Let me open my
.NET 5.
Determining projects to restore. Good. So we're running both things at the same time. Let's see. So no, this one is still not close to deploying. The input files. All right. All right. Let me pin the terminal somewhere here. Yep. There we go. So that way we have the view of everything that's going on.
Yeah. So we'll likely see a slew of errors, and it'll say something like 120 unit tests failed. But it's just because it can't talk to the back end.
Yeah. There we go. Yep. Poly.
But, yeah, eventually one of those will be the regex tests. And
okay, install is sharing runtime. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's almost popping up. This. Okay, you see, this is good use of your real estate. So I have the emulator on this side. I have the deployment logs here, the tests running here, everything we need.
hopefully it all works.
Yep. Something happens, we'll see it right away. Okay. 100%. Yeah, this is up. Okay. No. Why did the deployment fail? How to synchronize fast dev assemblies.
Delete GitTrends off your phone and then push it again.
I forgot to
because
delete
it's got
it.
the release version on.
Where is it? When did it go? Let me search for it. Wait.
Yeah,
Good.
you might even have to.
There it is. How did I forget that? Oh well, the tests are still running. I need to change my mouse. I'm using like a plug-in mouse for my laptop, and for some reason, it's starting to double click on its own.
Huh?
So yeah, I try to click once on something, and it just double clicks, triple clicks because it wants to. So yeah, I need
That's
to
not good.
check it out and get that fixed. Yeah, sometimes I like created a new folder. Like I connect this mouse to my Windows and stuff, and it creates like 3 folders, and I'm like, hey, I just need one. Can you chill?
Jeez. Well, especially like because a mouse is just supposed to like it points and it clicks,
Yeah.
and so if the click isn't working, then
What's the point of it? Yeah.
like, I got a mouse that I can move, but I can't select or do anything with it.
Yeah. I'm fixing that this week. That's one of my projects, my to-dos. I'm gonna try and like open it up. Like you see, I have this. And see what might not be working, but either way, I already ordered a new one. Because if this one stopped working, I already have the replacement.
Nice.
Yeah. So okay, I think the test. Let's see, terminal. Let's check the test while build again. Okay, here it is. Perfect. All right, let me put this.
Yeah, so there should be one for the about page and one for the repository page.
What's happening here?
The repository page is just to translate the total button.
Okay. Bear with me while my mouse. Let me put this up. Okay, never mind. Let me just scroll. Okay, so yeah, here it is. We have the about page strings, and you said where else do we need strings?
So either
Okay.
before this test or after this test, it should have run the repository page tests.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah, it's still running. There it is. Repository. Okay. All right, let me start copying some of these. See if it copies correctly for me. Where am I putting this? Let's see. Yep, copied correctly. So let me go over here and put it here. Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you all. Okay, so the last line is not being copied. Yes. So that should be it, right? Only the repository page and the about page.
Yep.
All right. Let me paste this here. And the deployment failed again? What? Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it fell on the fast dev again.
Install assembly.
You could check. You know how you can go into settings and see the installed applications?
Yeah.
You can check to see if GitTrends is still there. And you can also check to see if you just search for mono. Sometimes there's like an old mono library living on your phone.
Yeah, let's see. And yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you know in the latest versions of Foundry now, instead of like deleting it completely, it does like a soft delete. Which I don't know why they started doing that.
I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
thanks.
I'm telling you to uninstall it, and you were just like, no, let me just keep it around here in case you want to
Like, I
do
don't think you
nothing with
really
it.
wanted me to install it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let me double check again that it's finally gone. But yeah, I found it in the settings. Let me see if I can show it. Where's the visor? Where is it? So as soon as I put GitTrends here, you see how it was there. Now it's not even opening because I completely uninstalled it. But yeah, you clicked it and it was like, hey, do you want to uninstall me? Like even the icon is not there, but they still like keep the cache of it. I don't know why. Totally unnecessary. Let's see. Login.
Yeah. That's one of those things. It's probably helpful for non-developers.
Yeah.
It's like I imagine the reason they do that is, if somebody accidentally deletes something, like, oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Like, you can restore it pretty quickly. But to me, that's one of those things. If you put your phone in developer mode, you gotta
Yeah,
just
deactivate that.
gotta delete it.
Okay. Oh, at least it's running faster now. Oh, okay, buddy. I might need to do a cleaner rebuild just in case as well. Because it's still... Let me try and restart as well. The phone. Because at this point, I'm kind of annoyed now at Android. So, I don't know if you have used this, which is called Notion. But Angel recently has started to use this, and it's a pretty nice app to like take notes. And yeah, look, still that part is not getting there. So we kind of share like all our notes there for the Azure for Devs workshop we're doing, and we
Cool.
basically do the blog post there, and we can collaborate together. It's a really neat little tool. Okay, so let me copy this again. Let me just copy the ones that were not here. Where is it? The last two lines are not getting copied. So let's see. Oh, and there they are. Why is it doing that? No idea. Does it have like a cap on how much you can copy from the terminal? Repositories, here it is. And this is only one line. We need to copy. And okay, so besides that, what else do we need? Resource. App Store. Resource dimensions. Screenshots. Do you have videos as well, like GIF in the app stores, or no?
Yeah, so what I need to do is, like if you go to the README, you'll see that the README has GIFs in it. So I want to...
Oh, yeah. These.
Yeah, and those are... Let's see. So there's a couple things going on. Yeah, the app stores need screenshots, and at least on iOS, there's a video. I forget if Android lets you add videos as well. But so we'll need to add in a couple new screenshots because we're not showing off the stars tracking, and we're not showing off the about page. Well, the about page doesn't exist in the App Store yet.
Off of the bat, I see that the settings page we need to update because we have the old version here. Well, all of them, because I was gonna say only the repository we could keep, but then I remember we added a total here, so just because of that we need to change it. Here we need to change it as well because we now have two dots here, which shows the star page. And yeah, so we need to change repositories, repo details, and settings so far. Let me write that down. Repo details and settings page. And I noticed you had some images for iPad as well. Do they like require you to put them or?
Yep. So the iOS App Store, it used to require screenshots from every device in the entire device catalog.
Oh my god.
Eventually, they toned down that requirement because, as you can imagine, like having like iPhone Mini, SE, Max, 8, like there's so
Yeah.
many, and then all the iPads. So now they have still a handful of them though. So like I forget all of them off the top of my head, but what they'll do is you can still submit screenshots for every device, but you could just do the bare minimum, and then Apple auto scales it for you. So like I could, for example, submit a screenshot for the iPhone 12 and not the iPhone 12 Max or vice versa, and then it'll
Mhm.
scale it accordingly. So yeah, screenshots suck, man. That's why I literally wrote a UI test called "Screenshots for App Store," so that I can run them in Test Cloud, or I'm sorry, App Center Test will
Yeah.
run this UI test. I can just download the screenshots and then upload them, because the only way to do it is to run your app on the simulator and take all the screenshots manually. It's a huge pain. The video is
Yeah.
also a pain because it has to be in the proper resolution. Yeah, screenshots are one of the worst things, but I don't I don't know. I don't know what a solution for is, other than like I guess Apple could auto generate some screenshots when it goes through your approval process.
Yeah.
That would be nice. And then I could just choose like, yeah, keep this one, don't keep that one, keep this one. But it's the first thing that people see when they pull up your app in the App Store, so it's got to look good, and so it's
Yeah.
it's worth it to spend some time on it.
Yeah, because if, as you said, it's one of the first impressions your users are gonna get from your product. So if you don't have like a nice landing for them in the App Store, probably that they're not even gonna download the app. If your screenshots show a really bad UI, or like the colors are like all over the place, or like they start seeing a lot of advertising even in the screenshots, you're like, why would I want to install this? So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and also like it it sends a signal to the user on a couple things about your app. Like, is this app um, like is it going to be a good app that works? Like if the screenshots look like the app UI isn't very polished, or maybe just that the developer hasn't taken the care to upload good looking screenshots, and it's like, well, if they don't care about the screenshots, then what else don't they care about?
Exactly.
It's just gonna be full of bugs.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just like seeing anything in a storefront. Like you see it in the window of the storefront, that's gonna determine a lot, like whether or not you buy it.
Yeah, that's true. So this is a nice little trick I do when I'm working on translations. Before I get into this, let's see if how that build deployment is going. Uh, did I even deploy it again? No. I just unlocked my device and I noticed I have not deployed it. So okay, let's go here. I want to do another clean and rebuild just in case. Should I like also? Mhm. Just
Should
in
you also
case.
delete the any like
Yeah.
mono apps on your phone?
Oh yeah. Let me also check that.
Yeah, you should just search for the word mono, and if anything comes up. Wonder how that'll work with .NET 6.
Oh yeah, mono share runtime. Okay. Bye, Mono. Uh-huh. Git. Oh, GitTrend is back. Why? I
Come on,
literally
Android.
restarted my phone and GitTrend just got installed. Okay, let's see. GitTrend. Okay. I think it's gone now. Let me restart again. I'm not trusting my device anymore. uh, well, I know in the Android store we had a beta program. Did we eventually change that, or is it still going?
The beta
Like a
program's
beta
still
group.
there, but
It does
all that
not.
means is so it's just part of the it's a way the App Store review process works. So for Apple, you submit your app to Apple, they review it, and then once they approve it, you have permission to push it to the App Store.
Yeah.
Most times I just say like automatically deploy it if it's approved or when it's approved. Um, but as soon as you submit it to Apple, you can release it on test flight.
Yeah.
And so that's how that process goes. On Android, you have to submit it to, I guess, what we'll call a ring. So you can say there's alpha, there's beta, there's open beta, there's closed beta. And so what I do is when I submit to the Google Play Store, I push the APK to the open beta. So that means anybody who wants to can sign up for the GitTrends beta. And as soon as I submit the app, then they'll be able to download it once Google's done reviewing it. And
Yeah.
so Google reviews it. They also publish a pre-launch status report. And once that's done, then, well, assuming the pre-launch report passes, sometimes, well, I'm looking in the pre-launch report to see if there's any crashes, because what Google does is kind of similar to App Center Test. They'll run it on some real devices, and you get to see, make sure everything's good, make sure make sure you didn't forget the API keys when submitting it to the App Store. Sometimes that happens. So if all that's good, then I'll promote it from open beta to production. So yeah, there is an open beta ring.
Yeah. But as you're saying, it does not like force push the new update down to the devices, because I know some MDMs uh, you have the option to automatically force push the update. That's where like my question was going around, but no, it should not be doing that, and that's maybe why I wanted to like, ah, I deleted it, I restarted, and it came up again. Why did it do that? But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you delete it off your phone, then the App Store shouldn't be reinstalling it.
yeah.
Well,
Now I
we'll just say
confirm.
shouldn't.
Yeah. Now I
If you really
confirm
messed
that
up.
once I restart again, it's not there. So maybe it was a hiccup or something in my device. So yeah, let's see. I'm rebuilding. Now I got build errors. What is happening? This is all related to iOS, I think. If it's related to iOS, it's okay. Styles. Giving error related to styles. Oh, it's gonna.
Those
Yeah,
are all
yeah,
auto-generated.
yeah, yeah. So, let me try and do a build here. Wait, let me change the device as well. And,
Let's say clean and rebuild that Android project because
yeah.
it looks like it's missing a lot of the auto-generated Android resources.
Okay. It's working on it. So I already started translating some of the strings here. I'm going back over here. So one of the little tricks I do when I need to translate something is I use this nice little tool which Google has, which is like the Google Translate. And since I'm translating to one of my native languages, which is Spanish, I know Google Translate is not perfect. That's why we don't recommend using it. We prefer that you like reach out to a community member that speak the language and he can translate it. But I'm sure they're also doing this little trick to like ease the process of translating it, because it's like it gets like 90% of the sentence okay. So then you just need to like tweak it and make it 100%. That's basically what I do. It goes really quick when I do it like this. So it took this string and it translated it to Spanish. Now I'm gonna go over it and see if there's anything I need to do to it. Let me read it. Uh, well, since our community is .NETdo Dominicana, I can read it in Spanish. GitTrends es una aplicación de código abierto construida en C Sharp usando xamarin.forms que te ayuda a monitorear tus repositorios de GitHub. Now, what I do is I read the English one and I say, okay, let me see if it's in the same context, right? GitTrends is an open source app built in C Sharp that helps you monitor. Yeah. Utilizando. Yeah. So in this, I would say, extremely weird case, it translated it perfectly, so I don't need to do anything else.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's the good thing about using this. Sometimes you don't even need to change it, and you can literally translate pages, just tweaking a little bit what you're doing. And that's what I do mostly for my blog posts as well. I do them first in English, and then I translate them in Spanish and just tweak them a little bit. Because you have like the same structure, right, to the blog post. It's just translating the strings. We keep getting errors here.
That's clever.
Yeah, it definitely helped me a lot. At the beginning, I used to do it like redo the post in Spanish. After I started doing it this way, it's way less intense than when you're trying to do a new blog post. So okay, let's see. I still am getting this. And it's all related to the styles which are supposed to be generated. Should we try and close and open?
What, close Visual Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those times where I would just delete the bin and option folders.
Yeah. Then and just in case, okay. So yeah, this stream has been interesting. We have been trying to like get the project running in my device, but I guess it's either way of value, because it's just hurdles you go through when you're trying to work in a new project you want to work on, or you're cloning something from GitHub. You see all these little errors that are not related to your machine. It's just that getting the restore to work fine, making sure the auto-generated files that are supposed to be generated are being generated, and that's it. So yeah. At least we got to organize as well the streams. I think I'm finished with the translations. I only need this one. 3 more, cool. And I can send you this, or I can add it in the project and do the commit
just
right
commit
away.
It in there. We'll end on a high note.
Yeah. Thank you all for the amazing. Just cheat a little bit here. Okay. So here it's saying it wrong. See? En un colaborador para más información. So this is one of the cases where sometimes I prefer to keep the, like you see here in this few strings, I decided to keep, like for watching, the same word, because if I translate it to Spanish, the meaning completely changes as well. So watching will be, let me see. Well, this one I think observadores. Yeah, so for these two, it doesn't quite work, but for this one, yeah. So if I put forks in Spanish, it's cubiertos, and that means like, you know, the what you eat with, the fork. But if you put it in Spanish for a tech person, it's gonna be like, what are you meaning? What are you talking about cubiertos? Like, doesn't make sense. So it's better to keep the English version in that case. And that's what I do sometimes.
Yeah, and like in this case, since our app reflects GitHub.
Yeah.
This is also one of those cases where you want to use that nomenclature. So
Yeah.
if the Spanish speaking community is already familiar with stars, forks, watching, and what that means in GitHub, like maybe GitHub doesn't translate it on the website, then it's safe for us not to translate it as well. And that's happened a couple times, especially with the Dutch translations. There's actually the first time I reached out to somebody to do the translations to Dutch for GitTrends, they said, like, honestly, pretty much every developer in the Netherlands also speaks English, and we just use GitHub in English. So he's like, it'd probably be kind of weird to see things in Dutch, but we still did the Dutch translations, but keeping that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the same for us. Like a lot of at least everybody that's studying tech in DR, we work completely in English as well. Like we code. It's not like we're coding and putting the comments in Spanish. Everything has to go in English because basically that's the universal language we use for developing softwares, because we have clients that are local to the country, but also we work mostly with international clients. So to keep it easier to work with different developers from around the world, it's just better just adopt those certain keywords in English, right? So here, wait, let me copy this because I just replaced the original one. Okay. Oh, okay. So here you see frameworks, and it translated to markups, which means like a frame, like a picture frame, which makes totally no sense. And you're like, thank you for all the amazing libraries and frames that help us make GitTrends possible. Yeah, picture frames. So here we just keep frameworks. Libraries I can translate because it's pretty obvious in Spanish that librerías for a coding project is libraries in English. So that one we can change. And this one, it's easy for me. It's free because it's the same in Spanish. Total is the same. So yeah, I think those are good to go. GitTrends, gracias, colaboradores, watching, librerías. Yeah, we're done there. So let's go here. And package restored. Let me go to the file before we keep trying to rebuild that thing. And it's in common, right?
Yep.
Constants. And this one is in about page. And here I have my file.
Yeah.
And
English. So what I would Yeah, I
Copy
say just
paste.
copy paste that and then
Exactly. Yeah, you see, you and me are pretty similar in how we work around the thing. Like, if I already have the whole structure here, why would I start like writing them? And
yeah.
eh,
Well, plus
nobody
like the
has time for that.
regex, the format's just weird. I wish they
Yeah.
hadn't done it like this, but no, it is what it is. But it's
So let me this
it's all just
here.
very very verbose, like all these like res headers and
Yeah,
values and data. It's just like
like all of this is the same in everywhere. Like
right. Like what's the
I
point?
don't. Yeah.
And like this could just be a JSON blob.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like
So
this
let's
could
go
be
here.
a 20 line JSON file.
Yeah, definitely.
Done.
Oh, do you want me to make this commit in the main branch or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because right now I'm in main. Yeah. Oh god, why did this like get so cramped here? Okay. All right. So libraries. Let's see. Okay. Description text. Description. Ah, here it is. And I want the Spanish one. Just this one. Easy peasy. Perfect. So, okay, if you have an exclamation, you don't put a dot. Collaborators. Colaboradores. Let me confirm something. Sometimes so in English we have it easy because we don't have like all the hyphens at the top of the letters and all of that. In Spanish we do, and sometimes I forget where they go because now that I'm like completely in English now, all of that like skips me. So sometimes I also search the word here just to make sure that there's no hyphen I missed there. Okay, so we have that one. We need. Hmm. Okay. This one actually goes on the top. Goes here. And okay, we have that one. Stars. So stars I can put as Spanish version, but it has to reflect GitHub, so I'll leave it as stars as well. It's not worth it to change it. Colaboradores and okay, collaborators description text. Here it is. Thank you. More information. We go here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Librerías. That one I think I'm missing a hyphen. So yeah, you see? The I has a little thing on the top. Oh, and that's why I use this other software to do it. Because in the IDE, I can't do this. Like you have to press down the I to get the different versions of it. And if you do it in the editor here, it just thinks you want to put a ton of I's. So yeah, we're not doing that. There you go. Radias and the description for this one, and we should be good. Here it is. Oh, another thing we have in Spanish that we don't have in English. You see when we put the exclamation point over here at the end? Well, we do not feel like we only need one. We need another one. So we put this one as well.
That's right. Gotta let people know
Watching.
it's coming.
Exactly. So we have this one. Good. Stars, forks, watching, colaboradores. Okay, good. And total, we can leave the same. Where was the total one? Do I need to add the string though.
Repositories.
Yeah, repositories. It says it here. Yeah, repository page constant. Here it is. Oh, and I just wanted to note here that this is something we wanted to show you guys. If you notice our regex files, they're not all like scattered around. You see how they're neatly like under each of the main one, like about page concept that regex, and then you can drop down and see all the different versions, all the different localizations, right? So that's actually a pretty nice setting that you can just do in the chproj for this, and you just set this new chproj, this new regex file you're doing to be dependent on this one, and that's gonna render it in the IDE like this, and basically since it's dependent on this one, it's gonna be like nested under it, and that's how we have it like this. So yeah, pretty nice little trick. I used to have them all scattered around. Now I do it like this. And I
Nice.
think this was actually uh, Gerald that did this, right? I think he did a PR back in the day.
It definitely wasn't me. I was thinking Carrie, but could have been Gerald. It was definitely somebody helping with the translations. I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. So
Yeah,
either
I remember the conversation. Like we were starting to do the localization, and then someone was like, "Hey guys, we first need to solve this issue that we're gonna eventually have. We're gonna have a ton of files. Let's do it like this." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty nice." And there it is. I think that's the last one we needed. And yeah, now let me check the repo here. File status. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Cool.
5, 6, 7. We have that one. We have the repository one.
And to double check it, you can just run the unit test.
Yep.
So you just
Let me
open up the
put
test
this.
pane and click on regex tests. That we don't have to run all of them.
Yeah.
But they'll still fail because we're missing all the other translations. But we should be able to flip through the error message to make sure
Here it is.
the Spanish translations don't show up, or
Test.
that the Spanish translation doesn't show up in the error message.
Yeah. Okay, it's running. Let's see. We have 2 passed, 3 passed. There has to be 2 that fail, but when it fail, it can't be on the Spanish one.
That's right.
Let's see. Okay,
There we go.
perfect. All right, so let's see. Da-da-da. Yep, no Spanish here.
Nice.
Nice. No Spanish. No Spanish. Perfect. All right.
Ship it.
All right. Added Spanish translations. To about us page and total repository in repository page. There you go. Push immediately. We got only those changes are going. Oh, I need at least one approving review. Oh yeah,
What's that?
we have a rule in that branch. At least one approving review is required.
Oh, no way. Oh.
Yeah.
I just added, it's called branch protection.
Oh, nice.
And so, it requires
Yeah.
a reviewer to approve it, which means you have to do a PR.
Yep.
But I don't know. You could feel free to do that whenever. We don't have to show people how to do
We
PRs
don't
on the
need.
stream, but
Yeah, that's true.
that's interesting. I wonder what would happen if I swear I committed domain. Maybe I have special privileges because I own it.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, because you're the owner of it, so probably for you it doesn't apply. I hope it doesn't apply because imagine now you have to do PRs. There you go. So the screenshots you said are generated automatically from our UI test, right? And the only one that is not auto-generated is the GIF, right?
I mean, yes and no. So like App Center test is, for all intents and purposes, just broken. Like I haven't used it in a while, so we'll just create it manually.
Okay. All right. So I'm doing a last attempt at building, and if it fails, I guess we can end the stream here because it's already 8:11. But I'll definitely work on getting this to build offline, and on Friday we can revisit the this issue. Let's see if it's still happening on my device. I'll give you some updates on that. And yeah, I think either way we did good progress. We translated all those strings for Spanish, so now we have Spanish localization. We organized what we need for the B2 release here in these notes. Homework will be generating those screenshots. I think we can do those screenshots offline as well, right? And the GIF as well, I think. So you will need GIF for the Android version as well, right?
I don't know if I do. I forget what's on the README. I might just have the one.
Oh yeah, because the GIFs are for the README. You have not uploaded a video to the app stores.
Yeah, I'll have to double check. Android allows videos for the App Store and app, but yeah, right now in the README, it's just the iOS app that's shown in the GIFs.
Yep, here as well, we need to do the same screenshots, and yeah, that should be it. Good. Still have that 1 star there. Wow, that guy never changed it.
Yeah, I never changed it. There's nothing we can do, man. Like, you're a developer, you get it, right?
Yeah.
Make the docs.
Well.
It is a silly rule or a silly thing that GitHub forces. Like, they should allow us have different levels of scopes for OAuth, because I mean, I totally agree with him. Like, I don't want right privileges to your repos, but that's that's the lowest level I can request. It's like GitHub hasn't updated their OAuth scopes in years.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know. Let's see how this build is going. Let me see the logs. I think I did build all of them. Yeah, if you want, I can take this offline. That way we don't need to keep everybody 10 more minutes. Okay. It built. Let's see if it runs.
And it failed.
No, it failed in the iOS one. Why is it like frozen now? Okay. It doesn't want to run, dude. Look. Oh, it started moving again. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Build failed. Build canceled. What?
Just wasn't meant to be, man.
We tried, guys. We tried. Like, we have done everything to get it working. We solved a lot of stuff, because before it was just throwing errors left and right. now we're just right there, but it doesn't want to happen on this stream. Doesn't want to be famous on this stream, I guess. My
Yeah, maybe next
phone,
time.
yeah, my phone is like, let's go take a break. Let's come back on Friday. Reconvene. Let's see. So, any upcoming events for this week that we should know of?
Let's see. Nothing that I've got on my calendar. How about you?
So on our side, we have our fourth session in the Azure for Devs workshop in the .NET Dominicana community. We're gonna be talking about Azure Functions and Power Apps. So it's gonna be an interesting Saturday, packed with serverless. So yeah, definitely it's gonna be a good, exciting opportunity for our attendees, and most of them have completed the Azure path as well. So some of them are already scheduling their exam, and we are hoping to have them at least completed once we finish the workshop. And I think we're looking for some vouchers. I think Charlene got 3 from her MVP thing. So that's gonna be an interesting surprise. Anyone that's watching today already got the spoiler, but we just put like, hey, we have a little surprise for you on Saturday. So
Cool.
that's a good thing. If you watch our events daily, then you know the spoilers and you can be prepared for Saturday to make sure and win one of those vouchers for the exam. So yeah, I see it failed again. I'll take it offline and I'll get it running again. And yeah, on Friday we can work on this bug. And what else do we have for Friday? Only the bug and the screenshots, right?
Yeah, we can start doing some screenshots. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, and maybe we can start reaching out to the other community members for the other localizations, right? Maybe by Friday we have another language, maybe.
Sounds good.
All right. So thank you, Brandon, again for coming on the session as always. And yeah, see everybody next Friday. And I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and have a nice rest of the week. Bye.